Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Sencut Aetheris, which is cool because it is a super inexpensive knife. $39. I'll link it down in the description. It does help my channel and use those links, but that's entirely up to you. But it's not small. This is actually on the larger side, and I know many people who shop in the budget knife world probably get irritated that so many of the knives are little. Like, bigger knives exist, and this knife isn't huge, but the majority of them are on the smaller side. Not tiny, but on the smaller side. This is the type of knife that I recommend to pretty much anybody, whether you are, new to the knife world, brand new, or you've been here for a bit, because they did just about everything on this knife correctly. If you have been shopping in the mall ninja territory of the knife world and are trying to discover the better tools out there, this is one that will set the bar so much higher for you because it is a properly made cutting tool for sure. It's just very, very inexpensive. Thanks so much to Civivi, Sencut, the entire company, for sending this knife in for me to take a look at. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and do some specs here. Overall length is coming in at 8.5 inches with a 3.75 inch blade. Great ratios. They're 3.5 inches of cutting edge. And yes, that is hollow ground. Great. Absolutely wonderful. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Any custom skills you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and Others. Up against the 8010 and my own Excalibur, you can see here the handle length and the blade length, especially with Excalibur. It's very, very similar. Very straightforward. It's just kind of like a time-tested, typical knife handle and blade shape, right? Not nearly as robust as something like the 8010. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Bigger than the PM2 and obviously way bigger than the Para 3. And then finally, we'll put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and the Hogue Deca. How's the action of this knife? It is a Sencut. It's made by Civivi, right? So the action is exactly what you would expect it to be. It's running on bearings, a little bit tight right out of the gate, but not bumpy or lumpy or anything like that. This is just going to get smoother. You have an easily accessible lock bar that's got some teeth on there, but it's not bad. There's no double clutch or anything like that. We got a nice detent. You have a flipper tab that can be push buttoned, or it can, you can do the light switch method, which I think is better on this knife. And then you have thumb studs that are essentially perfect, like the positioning and how easy it is to engage with it. This is such a silly thing that so many companies screw up. They're like, should we choose something comfortable, or should we, make it shaped like the head of a war spear so that every single time they go to flip it, it hurts their thumb? Like, how we have bad thumb studs on any knife in 2025 is absolutely absurd. Sabenza, sorry. But so many companies, it's just like, what? That's what you use to deploy it. Like, come on, make it comfortable. It should not be uncomfortable. It's just insane. But yeah, this is done perfectly. It's stepped slightly and then domed at the top. Perfect. I love that. It is slightly in the cutting path. Not much, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I honestly don't even care. It's great. You can even reverse flick it really easily. It's just spectacular. Combination thumb stud and flipper. Carry profile, thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. This guy is really not that thick. Even with the full liners, it's not even as thick as the Para 3. Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. Despite this being a knife that is on the larger side, it's still pretty easy to carry. I mean, you can see here, it's actually slightly shorter than the PM2. It's longer than the Para 3, not quite as tall though. Let's go ahead and check the blade stock thickness on this real quick. Blade stock thickness coming in at probably like what, 115? Yeah, on the money. 115 thousandths, nice and thin. Let's go ahead and weigh it. What are we looking at for materials? In this case, we have the Ivory G10. It also comes in like green and black or whatever. We got the steel liners, and we got the 9CR18 MOV, which is perfectly fine at this price point. Sencut typically uses the 9CR18 MOV. You're looking at a stainless steel. You're looking at a steel that has kind of okay edge retention, but is very, very easy to touch up and should not chip on you unless you're doing something stupid, right? If you're smashing rocks with the blade like an idiot, then yeah, probably. But if you're using the knife as a knife and cutting things that are not as hard as the blade, then no, it won't. It'll be very, very friendly. If you're a newer person looking to learn, like just experience using a knife and sharpening it, a steel like 9CR18 MOV is super friendly. Most importantly, though, it's hollow ground. So the geometry of this knife is going to play a much bigger, well, the geometry in general plays a much bigger role in, blade performance than blade steel. But at this price point, this is going to cut like a dream, regardless of what the blade is made out of. Obviously, the blade material matters in terms of the overall edge retention, corrosion resistance, the multi-directional teeter-totter that is blade steel composition, but the geometry is going to assist you, is what I'm saying. Anyways, let's weigh it. No, we already weighed it. No, we didn't. Where am I? What's happening? 3.9 ounces, 3.75 inches of blade. Pretty good ratio. Is it balanced? Slightly back of the pivot, but right in the middle of the primary index finger position. It feels right. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. Why can I not find? There it is. T8. The pivot is a T8, and the body screws are also T8, except for these are T6. Very easy to take apart and put back together. Super duper simple, minimal hardware, and it's mostly T8. That's just fantastic. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Okay, meat and potatoes time. This is about as straightforward as it gets. This is a knife-shaped knife, if I've ever seen one. But you know what? It works. There's a lot of these knife-shaped knife objects out there, but this one, what I like about it is it's an option for people looking for something like this, but just slightly larger than what we typically see, right? 8.5 inches gives people that option. If you have larger hands, you're on a budget, like this is going to do. I wear an XL glove and I've still got room back here. This is a stupidly comfortable knife up against the flipper tab, comfortable, jimping out to the appropriate position, just awesome. Blade shape, nothing special, but it is hollow ground and it slices like a dream. It's wonderful. Even when you're, whoops, sorry, I bumped the camera. Even if the blade like goes dull by most people's definition, that geometry will still allow it to just continue to cut, right? A lot of people who don't know a lot about pocket knives that like have a pocket knife, they're just carrying around a dull knife and but it's still working because the edge it's still a thin enough wedge that it can divide material. And what they're using it for is like opening packages or, prying up on straps and splitting them or things like that, right? Most people are not carrying around a knife that will do this. Definitely not. But it has that super duper thin geometry that if that's you, if I'm describing you, it'll probably do that. And then whenever you want to, if you decide that, you know what, I want to have this thing like razor sharp again, it won't take much effort, and you can have it insanely hair-splitting sharp if you want to. So that's cool. It says Sencut on one side, and then nothing on the other side except for like microscopic 9CR18 MOV. I like the ivory scales, and what's cool about them is you can writ dye them pretty easily, like any color you want. So that's the color I would recommend, or you can just choose one of the colors. At least with this, you can enjoy this, and then when you get bored of it, you can easily change it. Pretty straightforward. Not really anything going on. Peel ply textured right here. Very functional. Very, like, the grip on this is great. I don't feel like I'm going to drop it. It's just exactly what you'd expect. There's really nothing else going on here. It's got a lanyard hole. We have mounting position for left-hand carry so that lefties can enjoy this. This is very easy to manipulate with your left hand. I'm a right-handed person. Pocket clip is the same pocket clip on just about every single Civivi and Sencut. It's fine except for this bill right here. They're obviously not going to change it no matter how much I complain. The reason that I don't like it is not because it doesn't work as a pocket clip. It works just fine. But this clip with the little bill will snag. Eventually it'll snag on something and you'll bend it out. Not hard to get another clip from Sencut and Civivi. At least I don't think so. I've never had to do it. But it will bend out. Usually you can bend it back, but it is steel. It's not titanium, so it could snap. A couple of standoffs back here. You got a lanyard. hole there. We have a stop pin that is located in its traditional position. No blade play up, down, left, or right. No double clutch. No pivot lash. Consistent enough. Smooth enough for $39. Nice detent. Is it centered? Yes, it is. Is this a recommendable knife? Yeah, for literally anybody. Unless you don't like knives that are this size. Outside of that, this is a knife that I would literally recommend to anybody. It is simple. I've got a lot of reviews on knives that are similar, and a lot of Senkut's knives are similar. A lot of Civivi knives are similar. So if you're looking at this and thinking, it's great, it's just a little, I would change like this, like one little thing or that. Look through Sencut knives and Civivi knives on Blade HQ. I'll have it linked down below. Chances are they've got something that's priced similarly, that's almost exactly what you're looking for, right? Slightly different from this. But this is a knife that I would recommend to pretty much anybody. It's going to go in my recommended knives playlist and also my cheap knives I like playlist. I think this is great. Not anything, collectible or super duper interesting, but great and incredibly functional. It's also a knife that I'd recommend if you're looking to gift a knife to somebody. Maybe you have a very unfortunate friend who still carries around the Dragon Weirdo Joker Fire Flaming 8-Ball Weirdo Gooftown knives, right? And you're just like, I really want them to experience, an inexpensive but quality cutting tool, right? This is a knife I would recommend you gift your weird, unfortunate friend. I'm just kidding. We all started there, right? But anyways, that's going to be it today. Links in the description for this guy. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.